5 on your side at 10 starts now.
Deep freeze now, wild warm-up later this week if this roller coaster pattern brings us beneficial rain anytime soon.
Tonight, light at the end of the government shutdown tunnel. The fears for food stamp recipients that relief won't happen in a snap. Plus, a game changer making the difference between life or death.
Never in a million years did I think something like that would happen to me.
The heart-stopping moment, inspiring a coach's call tonight to net more lifesavers. We start tonight at 10 with your weather impact forecast. We are headed back into the deep freeze overnight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Kelly Jackson.
And I'm Mike Bush. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is tracking a warm-up that's coming sooner than you might think, Scott.
Yeah, it is cold out there this evening here. Even in Forest Park, temperatures down into the 20s. Some of our coldest spots are close to 20 right now. You can see they're getting ready for the Garden Glow opening this Saturday night. Again, tomorrow morning, we are in the 20s out the door. Closer to 30 for some of us. Hats, gloves, coats, yeah, the whole deal. But a faster warm-up is on the way for tomorrow. Right now, you're looking across the region. There's been a wide range in temperatures. Still 30 in Berkeley, but Troy is 25. Trenton is 24. We look back in O'Fallon, Missouri, 27 degrees there. Again, some of our colder spots right around 20. So I think we're bottoming out in the next 2 or 3 hours. And as we head towards daybreak, we actually see those temperatures start to creep up. So closer to 30 degrees by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. Yes, there's still a bit of a breeze, so wind chills. Instead of being around 10 to 15 degrees, they'll be 20 to 25 degrees tomorrow morning. And yes, we do have clouds to start, but it will get warmer as we head through the week. The coldest part of this system is now pushing eastbound, and you won't believe the warm-up we get by the time we get to Friday and Saturday. We'll see in a few minutes to talk about that and rain chances.
Developing tonight out of Dutchtown, St. Louis police investigating a shooting that happened just steps from the campus of St. Mary's Southside High School. This happened about 3 hours ago outside the Speedway Market near Spring and Delore. One man was taken to the hospital with critical injuries. We've been checking with investigators for more information on what led to the gunfire and if there were any arrests, and we'll let you know as soon as we hear back. A breakthrough tonight in ending the longest American shutdown in American history.
Within the last 90 minutes, the U.S. Senate passed a bipartisan bill to reopen the government. Missouri Senator Eric Schmitt presided over the vote.
On this vote, the ayes are 60. The nays are 40. The bill as amended is passed.
On day 41, 8 Democrats, including Illinois Senator Dick Durbin, crossed the aisle to join Republicans in moving forward to end the shutdown. Now, it would fund the government until January 30th, restoring federal workers' jobs and pay. It will also reopen national parks, museums, and offices, extends WIC and SNAP funding, stabilizes TSA and FAA operations, and funds short-term disaster relief.
Now, it's not a done deal. The amended bill must now go back to the U.S. House of Representatives for approval. House Speaker Mike Johnson hopes to hold a vote by Wednesday. If no changes are made, it will head straight to President Donald Trump's desk for signature, which would officially reopen the government. Now, this news, of course, is relief to the millions of American families who rely on federal food stamps.
Today, the Trump administration petitioned the Supreme Court to overturn a lower court's ruling to fully fund SNAP benefit payouts this month. New at 10, Brent Solomon is looking into the uncertainty that is leaving local families in limbo. Brent.
That's right. The Supreme Court is actually expected to rule on the president's request tomorrow. Local families who are now struggling to make ends meet just want this to all be over with.
We don't know what's going on, and it's just a mess.
We first introduced you to St. Louis County mother Jennifer Meese last month when she learned her SNAP benefits would be impacted by the government shutdown. Since that time,
I haven't gotten anything, and I was supposed to get them on the 7th.
So you didn't even get a partial payment?
Nope.
Right now, the federal government says it can only fund the food assistance program partially, despite courts ruling that the government must restore full payments. Some states have already issued full SNAP payouts during the shutdown. Mess visited a food pantry for the first time in years.
And I got there 45 minutes early. There were already over 50 people in line. So we had to stand in this long line before we finally got in.
Although grateful for the donation, it only scratched the surface.
It was enough to make breakfast. I mean, that's about it.
If you're a federal worker and you receive SNAP benefits, now you have a double whammy because you're not receiving a paycheck and you don't have the SNAP.
Monday, Be Well Market and Cafe in North City started matching groceries up to $25 for federal workers who are affected. The store initially wanted to match $50, but scaled it back to be able to help more families as the shutdown drags on.
My hope is that it ends really, really soon and that people drop the egos and stop saying, well, I'm not going to give an inch and I'm not going to give an inch, and just give for the betterment of the people.
We're building ballrooms and helping all these other countries with food. Meanwhile, we're the ones in your own country starving.
SNAP recipients who haven't received a November payout yet are expected to see those partial payments by the middle of the month, so any day now. This as the nation watches to see if and when the government will reopen.
There are several groups and organizations collecting and distributing food to help with the growing demand. For a full list, text the word food to 314-425-5355. We'll send it to your phone.
St. Louis Lambert International Airport is not directly impacted by FAA cuts at airports because of the shutdown, but there are several delays tonight. More than 1,000 flights were canceled across the country today. This comes days after the FAA cut flight traffic because of a shortage of air traffic controllers. The snowstorm in the upper Midwest is also adding to the delays.
Tonight, Boeing is upping the ante on its offer to striking workers in St. Louis, and the Machinists Union is urging its members to approve it. Workers were back on the picket line today in Berkeley. They've been out there for more than 2 months now. Boeing is increasing its ratification bonus by $1,000 to $6,000. Boeing also says striking workers will not be displaced from their jobs even after the company hired replacement workers a few weeks ago. Union members will vote this Thursday. If they approve the deal, they could go back to work Monday. And just hours ago, St. Louis area basketball coaches were coached on how to administer CPR.
Yeah, the training comes nearly 2 years after one of their own, Dan Rolfs, suffered a massive heart attack right after the game. New at 10, Laura Marcheski talked with the coach and experts about the importance of this life-saving skill.
It's been nearly 2 years since legendary Incarnate Word basketball coach Dan Rolfes collapsed during their state championship run in Columbia, Missouri.
I was in the hospital for over a month. Lots of, surgeries even after that. Had to learn to walk again.
There's one thing that his wife Lisa did that made a huge difference for him.
When I had my heart attack, she was able to immediately start CPR and saved my life.
So they wanted to share that skill with other coaches in the Knights Basketball Academy with the help of the American Heart Association.
There's lots of people whenever you are at a sporting event that could potentially need it.
Dozens of coaches got to practice giving compressions and using an AED. First step is to have someone call 911. Second step is to have someone else find an AED.
We're going to check for breathing. Chest rise. Do you feel any warm air?
Once you're kneeling down beside the person that you need to give compressions to, you're going to think about a song about 100 to 120 beats per minute. The American Heart Association gives the idea of staying alive. So think about the Staying Alive song. You're going to take your dominant hand, place that in the center of their chest, the other one on top, and then you're going to push about 2 inches till you hear that click. Obviously, it's going to be different on a human body, but that compression depth is 2 inches, and you're going to do it to the beats of that song.
For most of the time, and hands only is sufficient. We will say for small children and infants, or someone in the case of a drowning, we would say you would still need to do the breaths, but that is most of the time hands only is fine.
While it only took a few minutes to learn this skill, Coach Rolfes hopes it can someday give a lifetime of minutes back to someone else.
Obviously, just like me, you never know. And so, the quick reaction of somebody to perform CPR is so important.
Reporting in St. Louis County, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
And if you'd like to learn how to do CPR or volunteer with the Heart Association, we have a link in the As Seen on TV section of KSDK.com.
Tonight, the St. Louis City Museum is mourning the artist behind the museum's expansive tile mosaics. Sharon Von Senden worked alongside the late Bob Casserly to create pieces like the sea creatures on the first floor, along with reptiles in the lizard lounge. She also created the mosaics at Venice Cafe in Benton Park. A celebration of life will take place at Venice Cafe this Saturday at 4.
Now to a live look at the Missouri State Capitol in Jefferson City. The rotunda is lit up in red, white, and blue to celebrate the 250th birthday of the U.S. Marine Corps.
Governor Mike Kehoe says it's a, quote, promise that Missouri will never forget the valor of this elite force whose courage and character have shaped the very course of our nation's history.
I think we were seeing the arch, but today hundreds of former and current Marines and their families packed the inside of the rotunda. The remembered fallen Marines and shared stories and memories.
It's a chance to spend time with friends, with family, and it's just, I mean, other than just being a birthday, it's a chance just to celebrate brotherhood and just have a good time with friends.
There was also a celebratory cake cutting, with the first piece going to the oldest Marine in attendance, who was 96 years old. The youngest Marine there was 19. He got the second piece. And tomorrow, of course, is Veterans Day. There are several commemorations being held on both sides of the river. For a full list of those and where veterans can enjoy some freebies tomorrow, just text the word VETS to 314-425-5355.
Major League pitchers accused of making phony pitches.
It's truly baffling.
The sports betting scandal leading to new rules tonight on making wagers on games. Pecking order, the new ruling tonight, which may leave Missouri chicken owners counting their eggs before they hatch. Falling foliage blanketing your yard, the reason you may want to give your rake a rest and leave those piles alone.
Leaf peeping attire changes again by the end of the week if the coming warm-up is dramatic enough to bring badly needed moisture back to the bi-state by the end of the weekend.
Just weeks before sports betting goes live in Missouri, another gambling scandal in professional sports is coming to light.
Major League Baseball is now putting $200 limits on wagers after two Major League Baseball pitchers are accused of rigging their own pitches. Cleveland Guardians pitcher Luis Ortiz was in court today to face federal charges. Prosecutors allege Ortiz and three-time All-Star Emmanuel Clase threw balls instead of strikes on purpose and received thousands of dollars to sway what's known as micro prop bets.
These players are getting millions of dollars and then seem to have done something very illegal for not that much money. It's truly baffling, the level of crime, and the effort just doesn't fit.
Clase is not yet in custody. If convicted on all charges, both pitchers could face up to 65 years in prison.
You may see longer lines at the stores while doing your holiday shopping. The National Retail Federation says retail stores are preparing to get by with significantly fewer seasonal workers. While hiring is down, holiday spending is expected to surpass $1 trillion for the first time ever. A new court ruling could ruffle the feathers of some backyard chicken owners in Missouri. A Cole County judge has ruled a 2024 law prohibiting homeowners associations from regulating backyard chickens unconstitutional. The state law only applied to HOAs, which can once again decide whether members can house chickens. It did not supersede local ordinances.
Well, after a windy weekend, you may have noticed many leaves are no longer on your trees. They're now covering your yard.
Now, before you grab a rake, Megan Bragg shares the impact that falling foliage can have on the environment.
When the leaves start to fall on your lawn, should you rake them up or keep them on the ground? Matt Betts with the Davy Tree Charlotte office says when it comes to leaves falling, they can act like a fertilizer if you keep them on the ground.
Their natural decay kind of acts as a fertilizer, so that's going to help those trees. It's also a habitat for animals and pollinators and all that stuff.
The National Audubon Society also says the leaves are important because when they rot, they enrich the soil, which provides places for bugs and birds to forage for food. However, there are times you'll want to rake them up.
You don't want to have leaves all over your grass, especially after we aerate and seed, because then the seed's not going to germinate. So you need to rake up those.
That says to put those leaves at the base of the trees or in the places where there is mulch instead. If you're headed out to clean up, the Cleveland Clinic recommends stretching first and wearing clothes that give you a good range of motion to avoid back pain.
And that was Megan Bragg reporting. The Cleveland Clinic also suggests raking leaves when they're dry. Wet leaves are heavier to lift and also breed mold and mildew, which can aggravate your allergies. You should also stay hydrated and take breaks because raking can be an aerobic exercise.
The first blast of winter is to blame for a 13-car pileup in southern Indiana. Black ice and snowy conditions made Highway 231 in Du Bois County treacherous this morning. This is only about 3 hours east of St. Louis. The highway was closed down for about 2 hours. There are no reports of serious injuries, but that same system brought lake effect snow to Chicago and northern Indiana. The winter storm dumped a foot of snow in some parts off Lake Michigan. Forecasters are calling for the possibility of more snow in the morning.
And Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell's here with the weather impact forecast. We dodged a bullet with that one. However, it's going to be another cool night, but things are going to change.
Yeah, we actually did have some snow flurries overnight in St. Louis officially. So yesterday just before midnight, so that counts for yesterday, a trace, and a trace early this morning. So that's 2 days with a trace of snow in St. Louis. It's not unusual to happen in November. Tomorrow, rest of the week, we don't see any opportunities for any kind of freezing or frozen precipitation. In fact, when you're looking at the 7-day forecast, you're thinking we're in the deep freeze right now. Temperatures in some of our outlying areas are around 20, and you're talking mid-70s by Friday and Saturday. You bet. We have big changes on the way. Now, Lambert has dropped back tonight to 29 degrees at this hour. We have some clouds rolling in. I think we're getting close to the point at which we're going to bottom out here. So some of our coolest spots in the outlying areas have already been able to cool back to around 20 degrees. Chesterfield's 22, DeSoto's 22, Rolla's 20, so is Salem. It's 24 up in Litchfield. You may see temperatures drop another degree or two, but the bottom line is they're going to steady out. And towards daybreak, they actually start going up a little bit. 39 was a high, 26 for the low today. As we go into tomorrow, yes, it's cold when you get up, and there's going to be a fair amount of cloud cover. We're not anticipating any precipitation, though. Winds will be more out of the southwest tomorrow. It will be breezy tomorrow afternoon, but by lunchtime, we're getting close to 50, and then beyond that, we'll go back into the 50s. This big upper-level system here off to our east is pushing away. Here are the high clouds coming in as we shift from a really cold pattern to one that's a bit milder. Our next weather maker may very well be this system that is out here coming off Russia and approaching the Aleutian Islands. That's the potential for this weekend. But here's the thing. Look how far away that is from St. Louis. Follow the arrow. It's over 4,000 miles away. Plus, we still have some upper-level energy here off in the coast of California. Are we going to be able to get rain here as we go into the weekend? There's a chance by Saturday night into Sunday and into Monday. The front's going to come through. Based on what we've seen tonight from some of the new model guidance, the front comes through early on Sunday morning, drops us back temperature-wise into the lower 60s, still above average, and maybe produces a few showers. The chances for thunderstorms have dropped. The chances for widespread heavier rain have dropped. What hasn't changed? Well, this pattern that's going to feature a big-time warm-up. The cold air is leaving. Much warmer temperatures are sliding in here. So by the end of the week, we are way above average with temperatures back into the mid-70s. Friday and Saturday. That's a dramatic change from where we are right now.
It's a roller coaster ride.
St. Louis weather.
Scott, thanks. Frank is next with sports.
Well, Mike, another game and another night in triple digits for the St. Louis University Billikens. The Blues have acquired a new player, and we are playing hit and run with the Cardinal president, Chaim Bloom. We'll be right back.
5 on Your Side's Thanksgiving Food Drive, sponsored by Thrivent Financial.
With Thanksgiving quickly approaching and thousands of bi-state families struggling, 5 on Your Side and Thrivent are teaming up with Operation Food Search to help our neighbors in need. Every dollar you give provides $6 in food. To donate, just scan the QR code on your screen.
SLU basketball has never had this many good players on a roster. Not the Grauer, Majerus, or Ford squads. They haven't. They really haven't. They came into tonight's tilt with Lindenwood averaging 100 points, and they soared by that number. And they share the ball well. Here's the shooter from Virginia, Ish Sharma. He had 16 points. Here's the best athlete, Kellen Thames, bucket and one. More on him in just a moment. What a luxury when your 6'10 center is your best passer. Robbie Avila backdoor to Amari McCautry, who had 23 points. It's also nice when your center shoots the ball like this. Robbie had a quiet night, 9 points. And Kellen had the dunk of the night. Thames had 12 points, but look at this one. SLU shoots 66% from the field. They had 20 turnovers. They're not perfect, but they coast to a 109-66 victory.
It's kind of like coach teams like riding a roller coaster. There's moments make you sick and moments that are exhilarating, and it's, you just kind of hang on and white knuckle that thing to the end.
SIUE hosting Indiana State, and the poor referee takes it on the head. He did stay in the game. Miles Thompson will knock down a three for the Cougars right there. But Indiana State was too much. Xavier Hall to the glass. Sycamores win it 64-55. A rather quiet Monday Night Football game. The Eagles host the Packers, and the first touchdown did not come until the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurts to Devontae Smith, and the Eagles go on to win this one 10-7. I would like to say the Blues get a break tomorrow as they face the Flames, the only team with fewer points than they have. But I won't say it. That would jinx them. This is 24-year-old Hunter Skinner. He's a 6'3" defenseman called up from Springfield. He practiced today as the spare backliner, but his first game will be his NHL debut. He started his pro career as a forward before moving to defense. So what are his strengths?
Physicality and skating, I think. Getting back to pucks first, breaking it out, keeping everything simple, as they say.
Don't mind having a bump or two?
No, absolutely not. I love it.
On Mondays, we play Hit and Run with a sports celebrity. It's rapid-fire Q&A with no hedging allowed. With the help of editor Bill Bennett, we give you the president of the Cardinals, Chaim Bloom. Baseball hero growing up?
Darren Dalton was my favorite player growing up, and then later the Phillies got a Jewish catcher, Mike Lieberthal, so how could I not love that?
Your wife's baseball knowledge on a 1 to 10.
It's really good now. It was not good when we first got together, but I think she can hang with just about anybody. Let's say, what's 10? Is 10 like Don Zimmer, or is 10 like...
10 is Bill James.
Oh man, well Bill James probably has a few things on her, but she's closer than you think. Favorite
restaurant in St. Louis so far?
Well, I haven't been to enough places yet. I'll give you one that's a little out of the way. There's an Asian fusion place in Clayton called Jinzen that has a cold noodle soup that, on a hot day, really good.
Most valuable piece of baseball memorabilia that you own?
2008, we took down the Red Sox in a 7-game ALCS. That was the worst of first year for the Rays. First year as the Rays, we won 97, won the division. We were 7 outs from winning the ALCS in 5 games. Blew that game, lost the next game, so now we have a winner-take-all Game 7. There were a few of us that, I will admit to this, before the game we drank PBRs together in the office just to take the edge off, and I still have the empty can, and we won that game.
No baseball in this world, you would have done what with your life?
I don't know. I'm glad I haven't had to contemplate that, because I didn't really have I'm not sure. I didn't really have a plan B when I started out on this. I hope I never have to find out.
If they did Moneyball 2, who would you like playing the role of Chaim Bloom?
There are a few people. I have had people tell me that Rami Malek should play me in a movie.
Oh, you're much more physical, tougher,
thank you.
bigger,
I
stronger.
appreciate that.
I don't know. I think I'd go Ben Affleck. What do you think?
I think Ben Affleck's too old.
I see the resemblance, though.
With Rami Malek?
Yeah, definitely.
A little bit. All right, Frank, thanks.
A secret holiday hideaway at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. The blast from the past, creating new memories.
The Anheuser-Busch Brewery is going back in time for this year's Brewery Lights. Today, AB unveiled plans to reopen a speakeasy tucked inside the historic Bevo bottling plant. The Bevo Fox Den was used during Prohibition and hasn't been open to the public in 40 years. It will feature cocktails, appetizers, jazz music, and games. Tickets are on sale now, where you'll get a secret password to get inside.
I love that. Brock's is taking the sticky mess out of a holiday favorite. The confectioner is selling candy cane openers to make unwrapping that plastic easier. Only a limited amount of them will be sold online starting next Monday. For $5, you'll get the opener and a pack of candy canes to test it out.
All right, Scott has a final check of our deep freeze weather overnight.
I think we're about at our low temperature in most spots in the metro right now, somewhere around 23 to 27 degrees. Temperatures will start creeping up overnight. And tomorrow, we're back into the 50s in the afternoon as the clouds break up. By the end of the week, back into the 70s. Rest of the week should be on the dry side.
And there you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5+.
Be sure to start your day with Today in St. Louis. That starts at 5 a.m. Have a great tomorrow.